3, 2.
We're going. This is it. The High Button Podcast. Dudes, Jeff, fresh off a Cape Breton trip, fresh off a live streaming weekend. NHL season, preseason back. Spicy Tuna getting a chant in Utah. All these maritime guys at NHL preseason camps. Brain is mush. Tuesday morning. Third coffee of the day. The name of the company's High Button Sports. How are we, folks? Dudes, how you doing? How was Chester?
Oh, yeah. Chester was unbelievable. It's arguably one of the nicer courses in the province. And yeah, just a kind of a crazy 48 hours, maybe a little bit more than that for myself personally. So I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little bit tired, but I'm tired every other day. So
you're normal.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm normal. Good way to put it.
Love it. Jeff, how's Edmonton? Or how are you?
Both good. Both good. Yeah, nice weekend in the Valley. First time down there in a while, so it was nice.
You go apple picking?
I wish.
Well, make me a apple crisp.
I was in the Apple Dome, buddy.
Oh, that's not the name of it?
I think so, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's just what they call it. It's It's like the KMCC or something.
Yeah,
like that, so,
you got her.
Is it? It's apple picking season now, though. I'm pretty sure, like the fall, and it's close. Apple crisp.
Yeah, they had some
Easy.
pumpkins out. There were some pumpkin patches
Already?
Yeah.
already.
I was at Costco the other day, and they had Christmas stuff. They had more Christmas stuff there than. Excuse me. Still good there? It's still recording?
Yep.
They had more Christmas stuff there than Halloween stuff.
Well, Halloween stuff's just basically treats, and then they have like
Yeah, but they
that
got
one
the
store
fake
that comes in.
pumpkins and
Oh, true. Yeah, like doorstep ornaments.
yeah, women and men. They love the
trinkets.
people love decorating.
True.
You know,
Very
it's
true.
it's a thing.
Christmas. Jesus. Yeah, that's wild though. But you know what, man? I feel like people Christmas shop all year. That's what I've learned, at least in the families that I'm associated with.
Yeah, you're really good with the gifts. You'll get a Christmas gift in July. Like
Better deal.
You just think about it all year round. It's always a thing for you.
I think that's just them rubbing off on me, man. It was never like that before.
Yeah.
Like, I barely bought myself stuff, but
Yeah.
it is nice though. I do like giving gifts, so it's kind of fun when you see something you're like, "Oh man, this person's going to love this," right away. So
For sure.
it is kind of nice.
A big theme of this company is work hard, play hard. And in terms of playing hard, you'll never really see us like at a club. That when people say play hard, it's like we don't do golf is the play for us.
Yeah, not drinking.
If you grew up around Nova Scotia, you hear whispers of a place called Cabot. Magical whispers. It's a thing. And if you're fortunate enough to ever get around in there, you look up and you thank the golf gods and say, thank you for this opportunity. I'm going to be a better person so I can even come back here. I'm going to hold doors. I'm going to pick up garbage whenever I see it. I'll do whatever I can to be able to come back here. So thank you very much, golf gods. And Dudes and I were fortunate enough to get to play Cabot for the first time ever.
Yep.
This past weekend. We had a Cape Breton trip. We went up to see the home of Al McGuinness, also Brendan, drop up some gear. And just say hello to the Inverness community, or Port Hood community. Port Hood, Inverness, definitely not the same community, but you know what I mean, just that whole area. Say hello to the locals and make sure that everything went well with Brendan in terms of the new equipment. And that is what I consider the work. And then the play would have been Cabot. So to go up to that part of the province, get a little work done, and then head on down to Cabot and get some playing time in. One of the better 48 hours I'll remember. A lot of stuff going on that weekend in terms of our company. Couple hiccups, not really. Jeff being in the Valley was okay. It's always nice to have one of us in the city, but we didn't have an overall busy time in the city. So to have you in the Valley was okay. But Cabot. You ever see like a golf magazine and you see the photos of the fairway, of the green, of the ocean, of the seagulls, even the eagles that we saw.
Seagulls.
You essentially just think you're in a magazine when you pull up to Cabot and you step onto that first fairway. It was absolutely incredible. Not a flaw. And you could tell it was at the end of the season. Like the fairway was great, the greens were great, the customer service was incredible, but you could even tell it wasn't in like its best shape because it's been ran through for the whole season. But even still, it was the nicest course I've ever played on. Just there wasn't a false note in terms of the moment we stepped onto the property to the moment we stepped off the property. Just everything. And you're walking, you don't even mind walking because you don't want to rush through that round. Like I know on 11 there, we were backed up for like a good 30 minutes for that par 3, but you're upset for like 10 seconds and then you just kind of sit there and realize and go, wait a second, why am I in a rush here?
Yeah.
Why am I in a rush to get out of paradise? Like you said, one of your buddies said at work, when you're there, take a second, look around, don't worry about your score. That's exactly, I reminded myself of that. If you get a double bogey, you're just sitting there going, who cares? Who cares? You're here. Take a look around. Take a breath. You work hard. You deserve to be here. Sit down and enjoy the views. It was incredible. Very fortunate to be able to play there because you look at it and you look at the prices and you're like, it's not going to be an everyday thing. This is definitely just a little treat.
Certainly hurts the wallet.
It hurts the wallet. So it was nice to be able to get the swings in and nice to be able to, get an experience like that in there. And being right down the road, 3 hours, 30 minutes from the city, you'd think you'd be there much often, but it's, at least in our wallets, it's a treat. So to be able to do it and have our own experience, it was awesome. I had a great time. How did you like it?
Well, I mean, obviously I loved it. I don't think there's a person that's ever gone there and said they hated it. I'll tell you, it's different than what we're used to. Like, even like going from Montreal to home golf courses was wild to me. But then to go from like, Penn Hills to Cabot, I'm not shitting on Penn Hills, obviously. I love that place, but it's just different. Like, the greens are different. I think Wig said they're like fescue grass that's just like chopped down. It's like you could putt from literally anywheres. It's tough though, man. Like I was battling out there. And I'm not a great golfer, but it was a tough track. Like, it's wide open, but it's just the bunkers are like 5-6 feet deep, and like.
But the sand was nice.
It is nice. The wind is just like it howls on every hole, and it's a factor. And it's it was tough, man. Like it really was. I really enjoyed myself, and I really took Davey's advice from work. There was to not really give a shit about the golf, necessarily. And what his point was is he made me promise him that I would look around. Just like instead of just shooting and going up and shooting the next shot, like look behind you because it's nuts everywhere, right? But the coolest part for me was that eagle, man. Coming down 10, the coastline.
On 10 there.
Tommy ducked because he thought it was coming at us. Yeah. But it just was soaring down just like that perfectly.
Eye level. So we're on a cliff and
huge.
We're getting ready to tee off on, I think it was 10. And we're kind of just waiting because the people in front of us were taking their time and they weren't, you know what I mean? We're just backed up a bit. And we're just sitting there, and all of a sudden, Tommy goes, "Oh, look out! Holy shit!" And I'm thinking like a bear. Like I saw that bear fall out of the tree. I'm thinking everything's a bear lately. And I turn around, and just an eagle. It wasn't even flying. It was like floating. Like soaring. How eagles can soaring.
Yeah.
But it was from me to like the TV, like no more than 30 feet away from us at eye level, just kind of floating. It was almost like it just drove
nuts.
by us just to say, "What's up? How are you?" Like it was pretty incredible.
Yeah,
it was a magical experience, and then that hole in general, right along the coastline, was just sick.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Yeah, that was a nice hole. That's when it started to get a little windy. But then a couple holes later, talk about more animals. A fox comes running out of nowhere, scares the shit out of us again, and it's starting to get dark at this point. And then it just pukes on the green, just on the green. And we were like, "What?" And then in the group behind us. Because remember, we were trying to find that missing ball, and we weren't sure where it went. The group behind us hit in, and the fox ran after the ball. Like fetch.
That's always the worst nightmare.
When
Someone
you
took
can't
it into
find
the
your ball.
woods.
Oh, yeah. But you can't
It
find it, but
actually
you know it's
happened.
down.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah,
when
it
we
was
got
crazy.
there and Buddy like took your clubs and put them on the cart for you and like kind of put your towel nice and neat and like just kind of like made sure you were proper, and we walked away and dudes looks at me, he goes, "You kidding me right now?"
Oh, yeah.
Look where we are right
I'm
now.
not used to that.
Like he was just dudes just getting like the A+ service. Like it was incredible. And I looked at your face and you're like, "Whoa, okay, this is how the other side lives. Okay, that's pretty nice. Let's go."
It's a bit weird to be there. Like, especially like Tommy put it best. He was like, just, would you ever have thought a couple kids from Fairview living the way we were would be there? And that's kind of when it hit me. I was like, no. And like even that, the guy like putting the bag on, you're like, dude, I got it. But it's just like you let him do his thing, right? I just like I felt weird for the first little bit. I didn't know if like, am I allowed to hit off here? Do I touch the screen? Like, is like, am I allowed to chip on this green? I don't really know what's going on. I'm just following everybody else type deal.
The track man was cool at the driving range. Like before you tee off, everything had a track man, like every like section, so you could see how far you're hitting it, see the speed of it, the the curvature of the ball. It was really cool. Just the whole overall experience. You're just happy that you got to do it. You're thankful. Pretty much it. You're just thankful you got to do it. But yeah, it was really cool. Yeah. Came home, went on Twitter, saw a thing called an NHL Amazon Face-Off trailer. I remember back in the days, it was, I think the first one was the Winter Classic, Pittsburgh, Washington. They did an NHL HBO All Access thing way back in the day. I think it was at Washington.
What's it called?
Road to the NHL Classic, I think.
Something like that.
Man. It was Philadelphia too, did one, yeah.
But I just remember the first one was the one where it really gave you, like, the ones lately have just been like access inside the dressing room, or like the players are just mic'd up. Like this first one, it definitely was Pittsburgh. I know for sure. I think it was Philly. Yeah, it was Philly, Pittsburgh. Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay.
Because Talbot was there, and like it was Giroux on the other side, and like Mike Richards might have even been on Philly back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that like yesterday. And the full access version of it was the guys at the restaurant, at home, going to a radio station to talk. Like the behind the scenes stuff was rarely inside the rink, because inside the rink, like it's all access, but like it's not showing the guys' personalities and things like that. It wasn't, but this first one with Pittsburgh, like on the plane, was great. There were so many scenes like on the plane. It was great in that sense. And I remember watching that and going, this is exactly what the NHL needs. And as the years went on, it still, gave you that full access behind the scenes. But year by year by year by year by year, it limited the access to the players at home, on the plane, every day going to the grocery store, yada, yada, whatever it was. And eventually it was just every single guy at the rink, driving to the rink, and then mic'd up on the ice. There was no full access. It was just access. But after watching this trailer that Amazon put out, Face Off, it looks like they've reset the clock and went back to that Pittsburgh-Philly behind the scenes. And it looks like it's full access kind of stuff. I saw a couple scenes with restaurants, like it was like Nylander and Pasternak sitting at a restaurant in Boston, like during the playoffs. I don't know, just like stuff like that you're like, oh, I didn't know they would sit together and have lunch while they're playing against each other in the playoffs. I guess it's kind of cool. Like, so it looks like they're just kind of like
breaking sticks.
Yeah, it kind of looks like they're just like breaking the rules again. Not that there is any rules, and just going for it. So in that McDavid yelling,
that's what I was gonna say.
That's not scripted.
And that's thing the real that stuff. You like. When like everyone's like, what's that person like in the dressing room? And like, I wonder what the coach is saying right now. Because even like when we're streaming games, Jeff, you're like, ooh, I'd like to be a fly on the wall in the dressing room right now after that period. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like stinky. But seeing the McDavid clip, him scream like that, it's like people maybe think that he's just kind of like in there just being like, all right, boys, we got to be better. Like that's it. But the raw, like almost in tears, anger, emotion that would never come out as a clip until just right now. Like that was the clip that stood out the most for me because it was just raw, real shit where they closed the curtain.
It almost looked like it was a mistake because if you look at the camera, it was kind of shaking. So it was almost like a moment where a trainer said, all right, camera guys out, let's go. And maybe McDavid thought, okay, cameras are gone, let's go now. I can scream. Because remember when McKinnon came over and he was like, when the cameras are in there, we don't do anything because the cameras are there. But as soon as the cameras are gone, we tell each other exactly how we feel, and you better do this. If not, we're going to hold each other accountable. And when I saw that clip of McDavid and the curtains kind of
it comes across in a hurry.
So it kind of just looked like a mistake.
I think that's a good
point.
Yeah. So I don't know how they got maybe they just they have like an audio. Maybe they just have a microphone in the room that's there all the time because the camera was so far. Or maybe McDavid just had a mic on him. I don't know.
Shotgun Mike would have picked the way he was screaming, dude. Like it was loud in the clip, but I'm picturing in the room because if you actually look around quickly at the players, it kind of startles some of them.
Yeah.
They're kind of like whoa, because it might have had something to do with the cameras in the room. But it's just like I think that's a great observation by you because the way that he kind of like almost stutter stepped to get there was like him waiting for the room to be clear, But the shotgun Mike would have picked that up.
He screamed at like the top of his lungs.
Oh my god!
I've never seen him like that, man. He did some media this morning talking about it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Well, you mean yesterday?
No, this morning.
He's up already, man. It's like 4.
Well, Rashog tweeted it this morning, 15 minutes before I got here. So, but yeah, he was saying that he was like, well, they were there filming, so they may as well use the footage. He was like, I never really wanted to be the center of attention, but I'm jumping in head first with this thing.
Wow.
So
Who said that? McDavid?
McDavid did, yeah, this morning.
He
like,
said he's jumping in head first.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. He's like, this is it. So I think there's gonna be a lot of.
Come on.
Yeah, that's what he said. So he's not shying away from it finally after all these years.
Yeah, and we always say, like, it's a fine line with NHL players and their personalities. They don't like to show it, but you and I all know that they do have great personalities. NBA, they got no problem showing their personality, but you know, the NHL the fans are always missing that.
The raw emotion.
Who is this guy that I'm listening to and watch play every night? Because you know, they struggle a little bit with showing who they are. But that trailer, you know, hopefully it's not one of those trailers where it was unbelievable and then the show sucks.
Yeah, like that was all the good clips.
Yeah, it's all the good clips. Now it's over. But you know, what is it? Amazon Prime?
Yeah, I think so. They're doing it, man. Like,
I think so. If you have an Amazon Prime account in terms of like buying stuff, I'm pretty. I don't know if
you do. If you have a Prime account for shopping,
you have it for video.
you have the
Prime Video, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Hopefully it's
they
not
got
like
all
an
kinds of
American
shit.
thing. Hopefully Canadians can see it.
Well, it'll be interesting, man, because they
Yeah, but
show.
there's things on Amazon Prime where you can only watch it on like the American account.
Yeah, this is
True.
hockey though. This is Canada. I better be here.
They showed like Nylander saying "Stop fucking crying."
Yes,
right?
yes,
That was
thank
the
you.
clip of last year, so that'll be included because he's got like a whole episode about
'Cause
him.
There was a whole like, how do I explain it? Just like a plethora of videos and everyone like speculating what he said, and like even like John Boy jumped in and tried to like read the lips, and we all knew that Nylander was giving the gears to something or someone, but to first time see that after forgetting about the scenario, to see that in the clip, man, just told Marner to stop crying.
Yeah.
On the bench during the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then he throws his glove. I'm like, man,
That ups
I'm
his
in.
stock.
I'm in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they have an episode on Swayman too, and he's still not signed. So there's some good ones in there, I think, for the first season.
When did it say it comes out?
Like in a week.
Yeah, that's a great time. Like right before the season comes out. That's going to be great.
Yeah, that's how you build a buzz about the season.
Nylander
right?
said that he signed on for it because he loved back in the day when they gave those all-access shows. He goes, I loved it. I was entertained by it. So he's like, I just feel like I kind of owe it to the fans and to the league to do it myself. So he's probably talking about what I was talking about with Pittsburgh and Philly, how those were just...
Yeah, definitely.
You know, like,
Yeah.
remember
He
like
would've
Ben
grown up.
Lovejoy, like his face was swollen on
Yes.
the plane and says like, oh, Lovey, what's going on here? Like, you know, like his
We're playing Nintendo
he goes,
Switch.
yeah, the doctor said the air pressure wouldn't be good for it. Like Fleury and Talbot. Yeah.
Like there's still clips that live on from that
Yeah.
show, like however many years later, 20 years later.
I remember
15?
Tortorella. Who's the coach for Philly back then?
Tort.
Laviolette.
Oh, right.
Laviolette. They're in Montreal and they got a penalty like 2 minutes or like 30 seconds before the intermission. Like they tripped Yogs, no call. They go back the other way. Someone on Philly tripped Montreal. Boom, penalty. And like he's walking to the dressing room. He goes, Montreal, typical Montreal, playing to the fans. So anyway, this is a famous clip. Remember, he's in the dressing room and he goes, "We don't want to block a shot because it hurts. Last week, Philadelphia. Last week, we're in Minnesota. Okay, added to the schedule. No excuse. Today, what's the fucking excuse? Huh, Hartsey? Because Hartnell's on the team. What's
Yes.
the excuse, Hartnell? Huh? Simmons is there.
Yes.
Like, this is like the grit. This is back in the day where Philly and Pittsburgh really hated each other.
Yeah.
And Laviolette just went in on the guys, like a bunch of legends in the room, and he's yelling at them, doesn't care at all. And what did he say? He goes, everyone's going to get their first shift. If you don't earn your second one and you're not going to like it, I don't care. Get out there, earn your second shift. Let's win
Yes.
this game.
I remember that
And
now.
then he walks away, and the boys are just like, that's what I love about hockey. You can't do that in a 9-to-5 job if you're a manager. Like, it's like, all right, guys, those TPS reports were late. Let's fucking go. You got to earn your first TPS report, get your second one. Like, I don't know. That's,
We're going in yelling at the young guys.
I don't know. It's the best part about professional sports is like you can just tell guys how you feel, and if you don't respond, then you're sitting on the bench. If you respond, then let's go.
Yeah.
It just doesn't that just get you food?
Yeah. The whole video, since I watched this, I've been like almost like shaking over here because I obviously just want it to come out, but it's just like, just all of that, man, and just like everyone showing, because you want to know what the guys are like. You want to be able to relate. Like I freak out, he freaks out. We're the same person. At the end of the day, that's how people are looking at it, right? I do this all the time. But man, just the raw emotion being able to see, and hockey players are buttoned up, right? Like I think this might help McDavid. Maybe he's bottling too much up, and now he can just kind of release and show everybody who he truly is, and then take the cup finally. But if they better not be
Sign me up.
But yeah,
Sign me up.
But all that is unreal. But that Philly stuff, is that the year that Brizgalov was like, "We are not going home" or
like,
whatever?
Yeah,
Is that
he's like the universe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was unreal. I remember back those days though when they first came out. I remember having to like get home to catch it on TV. Like there was none of this Amazon Prime shit and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's
was
how
it just
old we
Road
are.
to the Winter Classic? Was that the
Yeah,
name
I
of
think
it?
that's what it was.
It is right here.
Yeah, and they did a few years of it.
2018. It looks like Blackhawks and Bruins.
I remember when the first episode came out, I had practice the next day, and that's all anyone was talking about in the dressing room for like a full hour before the practice was like their favorite scene, and I just remember that it was revolutionary in the hockey world. It was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully this kind of revamps some stuff. Bernard would have been nice. Hopefully they got something Bernard in there.
Well, I'm sure that it's going to escalate. I don't think this is going to be like a 5-part series, you know.
Yeah.
like, but you never know.
Yeah.
If it follows like
lot.
the Formula One thing, like they kind of started it out, they followed a few, and then the next season they'll follow some different players.
Full
You know,
swing.
maybe do like the full teams eventually. So hopefully it's just the beginning for this.
Lane Hutson.
Jesus.
Do you see that pass? That's
Did you?
Oh, everyone did, man.
it's like Makar
God.
has. Like you can't do that even in beer league. Like that's. It doesn't even matter if you're skilled or not skilled. That's just a play that no one can really make other than few individuals. And if you look, as Lane Hutson sauced the puck, you're counting guys who he's saucing it over, and you count 5. Other than the guy who's like forechecking him a little, like maybe not 5, but either way, in the video you see 5 defenders, you know, just watching the puck like a rainbow, just go up over on the guy's stick. Unfortunately, he missed, but that pass is one of the passes that will more than like, well, he's already cemented on the roster anyways, but something like that will cement his superstardom in the NHL. We all know how the internet works. Something like that goes viral. I'm buying a ticket to see Lane Hutson in person. He's like hopefully he turns into the the Eastern Conference Makar. It would
Left-handed.
be whole
Dude, Habs fans.
You know,
They have really good young D there, man. They do.
they have a young team. They have a whole. He's small, but the NHL, the way it's trending, you don't have to be big. So we'll see what happens. But he played a preseason game yesterday. Did you guys watch his highlights from that?
Nope.
He went end to end. I think it was 5-on-5, end to end. Got the zone himself from just like his hip movement. Just got the zone, stop, pass to the. Because he had like 4 or 5 guys suck right to him. And he just hits the open guy across the blue line. Gets a shot on. I've never seen anything like it other than like a Makar-esque. It was unbelievable.
It's the way he uses his edges and his hips, right?
Yeah,
To
it's
be
like
deceptive.
Yeah, like we never played that style of hockey, but he opens guys up like he's gonna pass backwards, and then all of a sudden the guy bites to go backwards, and then all of a sudden he goes the other way and he has 20 feet to work with.
You know how the hockey brain is, man. If you see the guy pretend like he's gonna go backwards, your brain goes, "If I intercept this, I got a breakaway." So you they will always bite on that.
But yeah,
you know?
just like Makar's the closest thing you could like compare him to in terms of like that new edge style defenseman that can get players to bite whenever they want. Unbelievable.
I want to go back to the past though, because at the NHL level to pull that off.
Yeah, like there was AHL guys on the ice, I'm sure, but like
speed,
it doesn't even matter. The fact that it was on a stick, the fact that it was probably 20, 30 feet in the air, and it still looked like a pizza. Like he didn't flick it. He sauced it 30 feet. So it landed flat. You know, you don't want to say impossible to do because you saw it, but almost impossible
For
to
the
do.
average person.
For the average defenseman in the NHL, no, you can't do that. No. I'd put 3 guys that could do that. Makar, him. I don't even know who the third would
Quinn
be.
Hughes, maybe.
Maybe I'd even maybe put like Carlson. Remember Carlson did do that once. Like Carlson did do that
In the playoffs,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
The only other person I can think of is Dylan King.
Well, yeah, I know you just don't want to put him on a pedestal like that.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. Kinger could do it for sure. He
The
did it to
other
me a
end of
bunch
it,
of
though,
times.
like you know how hard it is to receive a pass like that. Like there's got to be some credit given to that guy streaking across the blue line with a guy on his arse, and is able to read that through the air to be able to receive that perfectly. You know, we all throw saucer passes, and I do pretty much every pass when I play, but sometimes it's going to land, and you have to be able to pick that up and read that, or sometimes you're going to have to grab it in the air with your hand, but the guy just, I know it was an unbelievable pass, but the guy on the other side of it just picks it up, full swoop, turns around, goes in on a breakaway. Like it's just insane from start to finish.
The NHL is a great league.
Yeah.
It's incredible, the talent, the skill. People have no idea that don't play from the outside looking in how hard that is to do. Whoa, Just incredible.
What's crazy too is on the note of you saying that you would buy a ticket to go watch, like to him maybe throw that pass, how the game has actually changed. Obviously, we know that, but fighters used to put people in the seats, and then it was like the Zegers, but now it's all these like individual skills that people want to go see. They want to see a Michigan, they want to see a saucer pass, they want to see like all these different things. Before it was plain and simple. You want to see the team win, you want to see some fights, right? But it's just not the thing anymore. So now it's like,
Yeah, Bedard did it in preseason. He did the Michigan,
right,
like 2 days ago.
See, that's becoming old news now, and all this other shit's gonna come in, right? But yeah, it's crazy how the game has evolved and what people actually buy tickets for now.
Yeah, people,
Right.
people used to buy tickets for what? Physicality, fights.
Yeah, fights.
You know, now it's usually just a person and a skill.
Yeah.
It's just to see. Like I remember McDavid. I paid for that ticket when I lived in Vancouver. It was a pricey one. It was almost like $100 in the rafters back then. That's not expensive now, but back then, $100 in the rafters to see McDavid play, well worth the price of admission.
Yes.
You're seeing a revolution in the game when you get to see that guy play. At least back then, like even still now, but more players have caught up to his style and how he plays. But back then, when you see him for the first time, you're like, whoa, I haven't seen that before. Like just the first time I saw Crosby play for the Oceanic against the Mooseheads, and how he protected the puck so low, and how he was able to find guys in the slot somehow that weren't there a second ago. It's the same thing with McDavid when I saw that first game. You're just like, takes 2 strides and he's blue line to blue line. And you're like, what?
It's like the semi-pro when they do the alley-oop for the
Yeah.
first time. You're like,
Yeah.
what was that?
Yeah, exactly.
What do we call that?
Yeah, and now it's
Yeah.
the Bedard era where the kids are flexing their sticks at 55 and they're shooting from here really quick and tight. And then all of a sudden we got guys coming on the podcast who say, yeah, their flexer at 65 and they're just snapping it around. Like Bedard is that next era of revolution in the game.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of cool to see this the game evolve.
He's
But-
kind of got all kinds of different skills of different NHLers, right, Bedard? It's crazy. He's got like the shot like Matthews, and he's got those like he's quick like all kinds of other guys. You know, like there's just it's crazy.
He's got a little Kane in him too.
Oh yeah.
Like with the puck protection, like you never notice when Kane's going down the ice, he's always touching it. Never, you know how some guys they don't stick handle as much. It's just kind of like toe heel, just kind of cradling it. But if you ever look at Kane, it's very
yeah.
back and
No
forth,
one
back
ever
and forth,
knows
back.
what he's gonna do.
Yeah, he's very unpredictable. And Bedard has that same unpredictability to him.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah,
It's crazy. I'm pumped for that show.
Did you see the Utah? The boys were yelling Liam's name. He got in a fight, and then
Spicy tuna.
Spicy tuna. Guy from right down the street.
Yeah.
Liam. Right there. I see his house.
Just
Liam
a regular
O'Brien.
guy too.
Yeah, he
you
was
know?
sitting right
Like,
there a couple years ago.
Just a regular fella, isn't he? But he's doing his thing. That's for damn sure.
You talk about a guy who's carved a career.
Oh,
You know? Carved it. Just chiseled.
especially as he started out in the era where they still had like tough guys. You know,
Yeah, in Washington.
it's hard to stay alive.
Yeah, Washington. Yeah, he was there. He stuck his tongue out at Char, didn't he?
Something like that. Yeah.
Maybe before Marshy did it.
No, Marshy just licked people, not.
Oh, yeah, he didn't stick his tongue out.
Yeah.
But either way, chiseled. Just made a career for himself. Now he's in Utah, a place where I don't know if they even play hockey other than that team.
Olympics that one year.
Do they have Do they have a team name, or is it just the
Utah Hockey Club.
Utah Hockey Club?
Is that correct?
Yeah, it's And then one of the guys said it's gonna be the Yeti, but nothing's official yet.
The Yetis? Utah Yetis?
Yeah, the
Like
Yeti.
sponsored by Yeti?
That'd be nice.
I think a Yeti's an actual thing, though.
Yeah, like the one you see in the woods, in the mountains.
No.
A Yeti.
No.
What do you mean? You don't know? Like,
I thought Yeti
It's an
was
ape-like creature.
you didn't know that was like a.
I thought Yeti was just like the brand. It was like a
no,
made-up thing.
show him.
It says the Yeti is. There's no real evidence that it exists, but it's an ape-like creature.
Like a Sasquatch.
Yes.
Himalayan mountain range in Asia. That's where that's the quick Google search.
So they're going to be the Utah Yetis.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. Anyways, back to Liam.
Yeah.
Team by team, contract by contract, fight by fight.
Yeah.
And on top of that, winning the fans over everywhere he goes. Like, don't think for a second maybe it was easy for him. It wouldn't be easy for me to go in front of, I don't know how many people were in that rink when they announced the team was going to Utah. And he goes, Utah, my name's Liam O'Brien. You could call me Spicy Tuna. And I can't wait to get this building rocking.
Yeah, he's like, let's go.
First thing I'm thinking of is I'm going to have a voice crack, guaranteed. He goes up there, confident as a mother, and just delivers. Next thing you know, he's out there fighting. He's in the box preseason. You got 20,000 people. It looked like 3/4 sold out at least. going spicy tuna, ba, ba, banana.
That's
like
Yeah.
it's
Good
it's
for
just
him.
it's pretty incredible. Like it's pretty incredible. A guy can. It's motivational for any other guy because there's more people in the hockey world that can relate to Liam's story than anyone else.
The
Like,
superstars.
you know, the superstars. Like, if you're a guy listening to this, and I'm not saying you got to go out and fight every single game, but if you talk about things that you can do away from your game, being a nice guy, embracing the fans, doing anything you can to make sure that an organization likes you. How many years did he get out of Arizona? 3 years he was there?
I think so.
And then he gets a 2-year deal in Utah. Believe me, don't get me wrong, Liam's a great player, he's a great fighter, he's a great asset to the team, but there's more things that he's doing off the ice to get those years and those contracts. It's not just him going out there fighting every day. It's him just getting the crowd going, being a great representation of the organization. There's so many other things that go into it. And if you're a guy listening,
Community
Take
engagement, like
Take
going to
note.
hospitals, to schools, to
Yeah, that's what Braden McPhee was saying last
Exactly.
week when he
Mick
was
Fee,
here.
What did he say? He goes, yeah, like it's not likely that like a 20-year-old who had 6 points last year is going to be on the team, but you know, I try to do everything the right way. I try to lead by example. It's like, man, people listening, there's ways out there to make a living in this game of hockey. Pay attention. Don't watch what people are doing. Listen to what they're saying. And speaking of listening, he's on the Spit and Chicklets today. I haven't
know,
listened to
man.
it yet, but definitely listen.
talk about a few hours. Yeah.
It definitely helps him that he's like in a new spot, like an expansion team, because he's like setting the tone. Like that's probably the first fight those fans have ever seen live.
I don't know
you
anyone else on Utah, do you?
Yeah, exactly. So like, he's going to, he's kind of can set the tone. And like with that big announcement and now the fight, I don't think it's the last we're gonna see about him like doing things like this.
I love that shit, man. Good for him, you know. But back to the note of him going on stage. There's like he asked them if they were fired up or are they ready or something. There's a chance that you drop that card and there is not a peep.
Yeah, there's a risk.
You know, like I can't hear you, and everyone's just like, yeah,
Yeah, Utah.
you know.
True.
But that's a good point, Jeff. Him setting the tone is this is how we're going to do things around here.
And when he did
We're not
that,
gonna get
I don't
pushed
even know if he
around.
had a contract at that point. Maybe he knew something we didn't know. But when he said that, I don't think he had a contract. And then I think it was like a month, maybe 2 months later, comes out with the contract. But I don't know. There's something to be said about that career, that Liam O'Brien has made for himself. It's pretty incredible. It's inspiring. It's the guys from around here that grit.
He's a former Halifax Hawk, man. Like,
Yeah,
you know, like
right
that's
there.
crazy.
His house is right there. I see it from here. His house.
He used to come out with us. He was like 15 or 16 when I was playing in Bridgewater. He used to come out to our practices. And you're like, you know, you're in junior A, you think you're a big dog, kind of, like just in your own head. And then he comes out here, like, can't even drive himself to the rink, and he is just absolutely dominating everybody on the ice. You're like, Jesus Christ, there's a whole other side of this game that we didn't even know, you know? But that's how he was. He was home for breaks at those points, man. I think he was playing in the queue maybe as a young guy. Yeah. And anytime he had off, he was looking for ice time. Like he was out there honing in his skills and stuff. And I know that now. At the time, I just remember watching him going like, must be nice, you know, thinking like he's gifted, but really he worked his ass off to get where he is.
100%.
Yeah.
Hard work pays off.
The only person I can think of on Utah is Aginla's son, Tidge.
Well, they got all the old Arizona guys.
Yeah, I know.
Like Gunther and Keller, but
Is a Ginless kid gonna make that team?
I would say so. He was an early round pick. They're kind of, well, they are an expansion team, but I just searched Liam O'Brien to get his contract stats, see if that lined up.
Yeah.
But right here it says Liam O'Brien facts: player type, agitator, heavy hitter, physical forward. That's the 3 things that describe him.
Love
Just
it.
right on the line.
Nice guy, I should say too.
locker room guy.
Yeah, the glue guy.
Nice guy, heavy
Great-
hitter.
Great guy. Holds the door for people. I love that.
Yeah.
The President's Cup's coming up too, and Justin Barron's a great golfer, right? So Kenzie Lalonde tweeted out Barron yesterday during the warm-ups in Montreal because I think it was team. What is it? USA versus the world.
International. Yeah.
So it was the international team on the bench in the Bell Center yesterday during warm-up, and Kenzie tweeted out a video of Barron just leaning up against the bench, like talking to the players. And Kenzie, what'd she say? She was like, Barron looking for tips on his swing with the President's Cup team coming to the Bell Center or whatever. And I was like, that's a perfect tweet because Barron, he's obsessed with golf. He's
Yeah.
good at golf too. Like, we'll shoot in this. I ran into him at the Jordan Boyd tournament up in Chester like 2 years ago. I was like, what'd you shoot? And he goes, like a 72 or something. And he looked like pissed. I was like, oh, so this guy knows what he's doing in golf.
That's what I shoot.
But I've heard a
for.
couple times he's good at golf. But anyways, it was funny just seeing him like leaning up. He wasn't even warming up. He's just trying to talk to these guys who are playing in the President's Cup. It was pretty funny. He's probably juiced that's there if he gets to go to the matches.
Well, they're usually one of the first teams golfing, so.
Settle down here. Justin, he said it, not me. I didn't say that.
Listen, my team's the same.
Shout
so.
out to New Hook. Thanks for the tour of the dressing room this year, buddy. Appreciate that.
I didn't know Ben
Don't
was
listen
a
to
good
dudes.
golfer, man. That's crazy. Like I didn't know anybody was a good golfer though, really. So.
No, he's a good golfer. I think Morgan's a good one too.
Well, they must have been on the same team up there, would they?
Same team what?
What, in that Boyd tournament? Like that's a pretty Nova Scotia
Yeah, it was
star-studded
it
event.
was just the. Yeah, it was. I don't know who their foursome was, but I'm assuming they were together.
Yeah, that's wicked.
But no, it was just a funny video. He's just leaning up against the bench, like talking to the boys. Like I'm pretty sure they were doing like the drill where like you needed defensemen. Like three guys go, regroup back, attack 3-on-2, and Barron just wasn't doing it. He was just talking to the guys.
It's preseason.
Yeah.
That is coming up soon, the President's Cup on Il Bazaar, baby.
I think it's Thursday, isn't it?
That's
It
crazy.
starts Thursday, I'm pretty sure, no?
Maybe. Yeah, well, Wig's leaving Friday, so yeah, it must be. Remember when you ran to Il Bazaar?
I do, yeah. It was my one run of the whole trip. Called it after that.
Yeah, they're saying the bridge is did you see the video I sent you?
Yeah.
So that bridge is still not done.
No.
And they're expecting over 500,000 people to be able to get to that course. So apparently the town and the was the mayor in the video of Il Bazaar? It was some
I don't know.
let's just say it is for the sake of the conversation. Like the mayor of Il Bazaar, which is the island that the President's Cup is on, was rattled because there's shuttles taking people to and from downtown, but no money is actually going to be given back to the island because of these shuttles. Like, because people are just coming and going.
Pay for it.
Because so there's no. But to be fair, like there's not there's no tourist attractions on the island.
No.
Like there was an IGA.
What about that
Yeah.
ice cream spot?
Yeah, that's true. That ice cream spot was
And La
bombed.
Flamme.
A little context. It's like the same. We stayed down the road from where they're having the event, and it is impossible to think about 500,000 people getting onto that island right now.
It was tough to think about 9 of us getting on the island.
I would rage after like 10 minutes of waiting in traffic.
One thing I remember someone saying too about the island was sometimes like maybe it was like the water or the septic backs up or something like that. But even while we were there, man, something happened. They cut the water off and like,
Yeah.
they shut down our entire street. Like there was no exit, no entry unless you wanted to walk. So to think about, and you can't go left at those lights. You know, you can if you're a dick like me.
Think about all the stop signs though along the road there. There's 4 stop signs on that one road into the course.
Say it again.
The 4 stop signs on the way into the course, like on the road we were off of. Think about all the stop signs.
Oh yeah, but that was only because of the construction, the stop signs.
No, like once you got in, there was at least 3
right by the IGA.
Yeah,
the 4,
just
yeah.
all the way through.
Yeah, there's gonna be issues for sure. Like
500,000 people. Dude, 75 cars back the bridge up.
Yeah, that's what it said on the video, didn't it? It was like
Yeah, but I'm just saying to his point. It's insane to think that that's how many are going to be there. Like I actually straight up told Wig, I was like, dude, if you don't have to drive onto the island, you can find a way, like maybe park over in Pierrefonds, you know, and walk across the bridge. You probably have better chance than driving because it's nuts.
Yo, it's gonna be a tough one. There's no hotels. There's no. I guarantee all the Airbnbs are sold. Like the house we were in, I guarantee that's gone. Everything would be sold out. When I played there, I was talking to the guys that were members, and they said that all of the players, staff, caddies, they're taking helicopters. So they're taking helicopters to and from downtown where they're staying. When I was like, yep, that makes sense. Because no one's going to be able to make it there on time. No chance in hell. There'll be people lined up in traffic there. I don't know what time the first tee time is, but there'll be people stuck in traffic at 3 a.m. trying to get there.
You're better to swim.
And then parking, like when I was there was parking for members. There's no parking for, hence the shuttles, I guess. But even still, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to pull it off. But, hey, there's people that are a lot smarter than us that are trying to pull this thing off. So
Hell yeah.
hopefully it all works out.
Beautiful spot, though, with all that shitty things being said. It was a great, like, I loved being there.
Definitely.
And it was still, like, in a perfect world, that bridge is accessible, man. You're right there for everything, right? Like, it's super close. It was great for us, but, yeah, it's a nice spot, man. They have, like, nice fields and stuff. But, like you said, there's not really much going on, you know, other than living.
If the bridge was done, it would probably work because it's 2 lanes, 4 lanes total going to and from. But even still, you still got to merge into that one lane right before the grocery store. Or maybe it's no, yeah, it is one lane. And then you have to keep going straight past through like.
I think that was the thing though. They're
No, you have to
widening the
take a
bridge.
left. Remember, you have to take a left to where our Airbnb was, and then take that right, where that sketchy sushi place was.
Oh yeah, when you came down through the detour stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like you still pretty much need to take that left, and that's one lane.
Yeah.
And then go past the outdoor park, like where the pool is.
Yeah.
Like that's 2 lanes.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be nuts.
nuts.
It's hard to believe, man. It's hard to picture them, but
It's weird too because like we wouldn't have an opinion on this if we weren't in Montreal this year.
Yeah, but
'Cause I would have never known where Il Bazaar was.
But just knowing the layout, you're just thinking of it. You're like, how?
And we spent a lot of time just like buzzing around the island, just trying to like see what was around because we were living there, so
Yeah.
you want to see what's up, right? And it was just like super nice houses, the Vincent Lecavalier Arena,
Yeah.
a couple of real nice golf courses, and that's pretty much it.
Community park was cool. Like it had 2 outdoor rinks, a pool, baseball field, soccer field,
tennis courts.
tennis courts. Like it was a cool little, that's something.
Splash pad.
They did have a splash pad.
Yeah, it did. I remember the water kept falling, so
That that ice cream place was unbelievable. Remember, like we got like 7 ice creams. It came to like $14. It's unreal.
La Flamme pizza right beside it.
Yeah, La Flamme. That
We love
place
that
was good.
place.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that'll be I'm excited to see the President's Cup. Hopefully there's fans there. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, I guess we got buddies going, so we can find out how they got on. We'll figure out the behind the scenes stuff from Wigan then.
Hopefully they asked like, hey, how do I get to this place? We'll be able to tell them the secrets of the island.
How much time are we at right now?
47.
43.
Ooh, that was close. Damn it. NHL preseason. What do you guys like? What do you don't like? What do you like? What do you don't like? What do you like? What do you do not like?
What I like about NHL preseason is that it means the NHL is around the corner. I'll say that. I don't pay much attention to it. Tom's information to me was the most I heard.
Yeah, shout out to the caddy or the starter at Cabot too. That guy was great.
He was like, yeah, just basically shit on the Blue Jays, but yeah, no, it's good. I don't know. Like I don't put too much thought into it. I do know. I look at the highlights. That's just part of my everyday life, but I don't really give a shit too much about it other than seeing the prospects and knowing that hockey's around the corner. So, what about you?
Same deal. I'm not watching too much of it. No. All the Oilers games are behind a paywall now. It wasn't like that for years. So,
Oh, they're not on TV?
like sometimes they'll do the broadcast. Like a lot of the Leafs games and the Habs games will be on there, but the Oilers they do it like behind their subscription service.
I'll
So
have to figure that out for you.
pretty tough. Pretty tough for this guy.
Ugh, that sucks.
Oh yeah, brutal. Awful.
yeah. We'll see. I'm ready for the regular season. Yeah, I'm ready to start playing hockey when the fall starts. When the air gets cold, and we're in the rinks. That's when I worry about playing.
get
The
the
Oilers will
itch.
take care of themselves.
The other thing too is preseason's like our start of the season, so you don't like right now. My mind's not on when the Leafs are playing, but as the season actually starts, we're kind of hopefully in a groove at that point, and we can all settle into what we're doing. So then hopefully that's when you start to kind of focus on the hockey, right?
Yeah.
But for me right now, it's just let's get this ship sailing, and then put her in cruise control after that.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It's been busy.
Such a nice distraction from work though, NHL.
It's funny because it's basically essentially the same thing. We're just hockey to hockey. It's just different leagues.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. There's just storylines that are great.
Yeah. Yep. Like,
And hopefully there's some nice storylines too of guys making some teams that maybe didn't expect to make a team, gets a contract. It's always
Yeah.
nice to see.
especially guys that you didn't even know were at camps or something like that, like guys from like the Maritimes and stuff. You'll see there'll be a couple at least that'll crack lineups to start, and you'll be like, oh, really?
Yeah.
It'd
be nice if there was a preseason game here, but what are you going to do? Can't complain. Last year we got a game. This year
we don't.
weren't so lucky.
No.
But still, it was great to get that one game in last year. But there wasn't even the game. There was no games on TV yesterday. Like
No, I don't
TSN, I
think.
was like, I thought there'd be something, but there was nothing being played.
I feel like we used to get NHL exhibition games all the time when we were kids, man. I could never go, but like, there was always like Ottawa and like the Rangers. They would always play their skid marks, but like it was still an NHL preseason game. But it was always like early, right? So it was like basically training camp games, which is still sick, especially when you're a kid growing up here and you watch the Mooseheads growing up and they're unbelievable when you're a kid, and it's just like, but then you see the next level of them and you're like, oh man, like that's pretty cool.
I bet the owners aren't too keen on it either, hence they're not making money. Like the Montreal game last night, I was watching highlights on Twitter this morning, like looked pretty much sold out. Like Bell Center sold out. You're bringing in millions of dollars. So if Montreal's playing in Halifax, I'm sure the owners aren't too pumped. Same with the Leafs. Like I know those are two hockey meccas, but Well, even Utah yesterday, like it was 3/4 of the building was full, so the owner's making some money. So if you send teams away to other markets, maybe the NHL has a deal with teams like, look, if you let us put some teams in other markets for preseason, you'll make a cut of the building. But I don't know. I'm sure the owners aren't overly pumped.
No, it's
away
travel
games.
costs and all that stuff. But that being said, these teams are making, millions and millions and millions of dollars. To fly their team to Halifax for a game is, probably just cash in their wallet.
I don't know. There has to be some sort of deal. If their team's playing, they're making money.
Oh, there's always like at the end of the day, it's a business, right? So it's not just going to be like charity,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
We don't want anything.
Yeah, they play a lot of preseason games. I think it's like 7 each team, so there's a lot of room.
Doesn't even feel like there's training camp anymore. Like there's no.
Well, because we don't see the practices and the fitness testing and all that
Yeah.
shit, right? All we see is the Leaf scrimmages and like all that dumb
Couple
stuff.
saucer passes.
Yeah, right. So it's just different, right?
It's funny when you see like preseason for some teams versus others. Like you'll see a Leafs practice and boys are flowing, smiling, having fun, and then you go to like torts and the boys are just bagging back and forth, suicides like around the net. There's such a different style of training camp for some teams compared to others. I could be wrong. Maybe they don't show other teams, but it was just seeing the different like drills that other teams are doing. Speaking of torts, Philly bringing Goodrow's dad out.
Yeah.
Really cool because they're from the Philly area. That family.
Are they?
The Goodrows, yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. Like he went to Columbus to be closer to his family. So I wonder how far Philly is from
I think you grew up there.
Ohio. Yeah, Columbus, Ohio. Can't be that far because hence he said he moved there for family.
Yeah, it's right next to them, the States.
So
Is
that's
it?
that's pretty crazy, actually.
Well,
like,
it's good on tour. It's like I've never lost anyone significantly close in my life, but I'm assuming you want to. I don't want to say distraction. You don't ever want to move on. Losing someone, you've lost someone close to you. I don't know. You don't ever really want to forget them. You don't want to move on, but to be able to get out of your house, do something different, be on the ice with NHL players, like good on Torts for just throwing it out there. Hey, I think his name's Guy.
Yeah, it is Guy Goodrow. Yeah.
Guy. So hey Guy, we'd love to have you out at practice.
Yep.
Skate with the fellas. I don't really know what the goal of it is, but it's definitely just trying to make life normal again, which, I'm assuming life will never be normal. Losing 2 sons is awful, but good on Torts, good on the Philly organization for getting him out there and just trying to, make light of something that's going on in your life. So that was really cool to see. And classic, just like NHL professional hockey, the boys are done stretching. Each and every single one of the players in Philly line up, shake his hand.
Yeah.
You're just like, I don't know. There's something special about hockey players. Every now and then you'll hear people shit on the culture, but I'll never do it. At the end of the day, these players are pros, and they always do the right thing. And I don't know. It was just really cool to see that video and just be proud of the sport that we represent.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of a tearjerker, to be honest. Like in a situation like that, and the first thing I think of is how much hate Tortorella gets for being such a hard ass and a prick and all this stuff, and then for him to pull something like this out, and it's just for distraction. He's trying to get him. You do need a distraction. Like when you do lose someone close to you, it's nice to be able to forget about it, because you're not forgetting about the person. You're trying to forget about what transpired to lose that person, right? That's the dark part of the thought process. So for him to get out there and get a distraction and just be loosey goosey, because I'm sure he's coached growing up and stuff like that. But the one main point
he did, yeah.
I think I'd say is doing the thing that connected you and your boys in the first place. I think there's a special piece of doing that, and
yeah.
I think I know for me with Cam, just being at the ball field is it's a connection, right? That's the one thing that we connected on, and that's where we became tight. So I think doing that and being out on the ice in a situation where his players his kids, his boys did what they loved and they did it professionally, it's going to be really nice for them to just kind of, you can almost feel their presence when you're out there. It's just being able to be in the same place
For sure.
as the original connection came from, right?
It is a weird thing with sports, and it happens with golf too. Like you could be having the worst day in the world,
Yep.
but you go out and you play hockey, you play a round of golf. Oddly enough, you just forget about it.
That's the idea.
It's a weird thing, but it just it's a true thing. And to have a guy like Guy out there skating around for an hour and a half, whatever it is, the only good is going to come from it. So I just thought that was a really cool video that Philadelphia shared, and I love that he was wearing Johnny's gloves, the Columbus gloves. So he had the Philly tracksuit on, but he had the Columbus gloves.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. Nice little touch, just you always carry your son with you.
Oh yeah,
It
and
was
it'd be
nice.
lucky to have Johnny hands too, man. guy had silky mitts, right? So probably made his hands a little better out there too. But
I remember Batman. Do you remember him in the World Juniors?
yes,
That's when I first, because I didn't follow college sports when he was in Boston, but I think they won the World Juniors actually for USA that year.
yeah, there was a
Could you
few
attest
years
to
there
that?
where the
I
USA.
don't remember those USA years.
Anyways, I
Block
remember
those
I
out.
remember looking at him. I'm going, man, he's small, but he's really effective. And I go, the players who he's playing against, they're going to be in the NHL, and he's dominating them. So most likely he'll be in the NHL. And then I think it was his second year in Calgary. Maybe it was his first year. No, it was his second year. I think he was an All-Star. And you just go, wow, cemented superstar in the NHL. And the fact that he played for a Canadian market for that long of a time, it hits home with Canadians. Even though he's American, a lot of Canadians, he's it hits home.
He's also played
he's
in
right.
Calgary forever too.
Yeah, it was like 8 years.
Yeah.
Something.
You were
like
right
that.
though; they did win gold.
Did they win gold? Yeah.
And to make it better for the story, he led the 2013 World Junior Championship in goals. He had 7 goals in 7 games and helped the United States win gold, while leading the NCAA in points per game, helping Boston College win the Bean Pot again and being named the Hockey East Player of the Year as a sophomore. 2013.
That was his year, and that's his number, 13.
Yeah.
That's cool. I
Yeah,
wonder if
man.
that has anything to do with it.
No, I don't know. I always that's one thing I'm the most intrigued about is what players, why they choose their numbers. Like I would listen if I had an opportunity to go through every team, every guy, and ask them why they choose their numbers. I would do it.
Yeah.
I would in a heartbeat because there's always something there.
Yeah, story no one knows
Some
about.
guy, I wear 52 because I was the late addition to my Pee Wee AA team, and that was the only jersey they had, and I had a really good season, made Pee Wee, you know what I mean? So it's just like, so now I'm 52. So there's always something crazy, or my buddy passed, or like my older brother wore it. There's always a story behind the number, always.
Yeah. Really cool. And I remember those World Junior days. It's just like, whoa.
I loved him
Dominant.
because he was small.
Yeah, I never thought of it from that.
So
That's
like when I saw a small guy dominate
Yeah.
big guys, man, there's just something in you, the small man syndrome
That's
that
what-
just like, yeah.
he was Cole Caulfield's idol growing
Yep.
up. American, small
Small.
guy, like the idol. And then he changed his number to 13 this year.
Yep. That's a classy move too.
Yeah. Anyways, really, really cool stuff coming out of that story as you know, you try to make light of a situation, and I think Philly did the right thing. Hopefully he just I don't know. You just, you want to stay close to the game, like you said, that reminds that keeps you in touch with the thing that you and your sons bonded over.
Yep.
It would be cool to see a position made for him in Philly and just kind of see a story somehow turned positive. Just somehow something comes from it that works out. So we'll see.
At least give him a box.
That'd be sick. It'd be cool. It'll be interesting to see like what awards come. Like you got to name an award after him, or just I don't know. There'll
Yeah.
be something that happens. A statue. Just it'll you have to make light of something, and it'll be cool to see what transpires from all this.
Oh, there'd be a foundation or something like that,
Yeah.
which is always nice.
I think that's good. We're good. Enjoy the week, everyone. Dudes, you want to say anything?
No, just in case any of the guys that we have under our uniform, I guess, in the team, if they listen to this at all, just keep pushing, keep learning, stay calm, and got your back.
Jeff?
What he said.
All right, sounds good. Everyone listening, thank you very much for tuning in, listening, liking, clicking, doing whatever you do to make us have jobs. Appreciate you. We're out.